Aspen, welcome to Paris. I know you're more of a mountain gal, but what's Paris been treating you like? I see you've been mixing your training in with the long run around the tourism sites. I'm wondering how's that been like?
Paris has been amazing. So I usually leave fight week for like the Monday before a fight. But because this is international and it kind of messes you up, and it's Paris, like it's somewhere you want to come see. We left a few days early just to get really adjusted to the time change. And that was a fantastic decision. And it's an added benefit. My brother came with me and my grandma. So my brother is one of my training, running buddies. So we've been all over Paris, literally just picking out landmarks and sites. We run there when they run to another one. So it's been wonderful.
Awesome. And one more from me. Based on everything you've seen in Paris, what's your favorite art?
It's hard to pick just one. My favorite thing so far is just the Louvre in general. But it wasn't like any of the more famous pieces. It was just the whole experience and how overwhelming it was with all the there's too much in like one space to choose, and it's overwhelming. It's like I've seen these things in history books and art books. It's like, oh my gosh, it's right there. And then there's another one. It was just amazing.
Mike.
Hey Aspen, so obviously you've moved over to Bellator now after doing some time and spending some time with the PFL. You went the distance with Kayla Harrison. What does that say to you to go the distance with someone who's highly regarded as one of the best female fighters in the world, for your confidence coming into this Bellator event?
That was an extraordinary tough fight to take on the time period that I did, and she's one of the best out there. She's definitely one of the best grapplers in the world, and she's continuing to do big things, and she's about to take 35 division in the UFC.
What do you hope to achieve with Bellator? You spent time in the PFL now, you're doing Bellator now. What are you hoping to achieve in this year?
That's a very interesting question because I'm still a PFL fighter. I'm contracted PFL. PFL is just now an owner, a part of everything. So I'm fighting on the Bellator side, but still a PFL fighter. And this year it is just to fight as many times as I can, travel a bunch, and take home a bunch of wins.
What should we expect from you in Paris this weekend?
My entire goal is to get in and get out as fast as I possibly can.
Sorry guys, just give us 1 second with the audio.
Can continue to be on this fight.
Okay. Mike, you can continue with your questions. Sorry about that.
No worries, thank you very much. And this is the last one for me, Aspen. Bellator champion, you've already fought Kayla Harrison, and Bellator champion Chris Cyborg has been calling for activity, calling for a fight, and obviously, you're right there. You're in that weight class. So, do you think with an impressive fight showing in Paris here, and maybe in another fight, that you could cement your name as the top challenger? I mean, she's calling for Larissa Pacheco, but could you insert your name into getting a fight against Chris Cyborg?
It's definitely, like, as far as what this fight will do, the next fight will do, getting up to the top of the heap as far as the Bellator featherweights goes. That's very possible. is it likely right now because she's about to fight Larissa, and then there's already a title challenger who I'm very interested in fighting myself in Bellator. So it's like, could it happen? Yes. Is it the next thing on the horizon?
Thank you.
Tristan.
Hi, Aspen. How are you?
Hi, doing well.
I wanted to get your impression on Kayla Harrison's UFC debut, especially coming from someone who knows how difficult the cut to 135 can be herself, and what you thought of her performance.
I thought Kayla Harrison did exactly what I thought she was going to do, especially when I heard the matchup, her first one. Obviously, people think, oh, it's a tough fight, or Holly will do the same thing that she did to Ronda. She ragdolled her, and I thought she was going to. Made it look easy. There's not currently anybody in that division that's going to be able to beat her, in my opinion. And yes, it's definitely a very, very hard cut. She did it, she made it, and I'm sure she will again.
And in one of your previous answers, it sounded like you might be a little more interested in facing Larissa Pacheco than Chris Cyborg. I don't know if that's actually the case, but kind of give me, which opponent intrigues you more, and why is that so?
I was actually, the name that was coming up as far as the Bellator side was Leah McCourt. She's a fantastic grappler, and I'm aware of her already. So that was the one, but Larissa was obviously on my horizons last year as far as a potential opponent. So yeah, either one I've thought of. Cyborg too, but it's like she's coming into the picture, and she's still struggling to get the fight she's calling for. So I was like, that's probably not going to happen before one of the other ones is.
Thank you.
Jay.
Hey Aspen, sorry if there's any overlap here. We lost a couple of your earlier answers, but I'm just curious, what were your takeaways from the Harrison fight in terms of lessons learned?
Let's see. There's definitely some introspection going on as far as any fights go, but that one, it's don't take that level fight on short notice with one of the best in the world, but at the same time, I don't regret it. Like, it's learning experience one way or the other.
And obviously there's going to be some differences fighting in Bellator. You don't have the season format now, and the fights that are going to be back-to-back the way they would have been in the PFL. I mean, are you okay with that sort of schedule, or would you have preferred to have the option to be a little busier?
I would have preferred to have the option of another season. Last year was my first one, and I loved how busy it kept me. I loved the seasonal format. I loved knowing when I was going to fight, when the next fight was going to be. But there are some trade-offs. Now I'm on the Bellator side, and I get elbows back. I'm able to throw those again, so that's pretty awesome. So there's give and take in each one, but I definitely prefer to be more active, and we'll see how many times I end up fighting this year. Obviously, ideally, 3 times would be great. And that's the cool thing about the seasonal format, is I know I'm going to be fighting.
And last one for me, just on your opponent here, Shakalova, do you see yourself as her toughest test to date, and how do you see her matching up with yourself?
I most definitely do. So far she's been a dominant grappler, and that's how she wins her fights, and that's where I'm world class. So she is not going to have a good night, but I'm sure she'll continue to do well after.
Thanks very much.
Dylan.
All right, should be good. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. For you, Aspen, first of all, thank you for the time. This will be your 5th fight will being contracted to the PFL, but like you said before, you're stepping in there with a Bellator fighter in a Bellator cage. I'm wondering if you have any extra determination to represent the PFL to the best of your abilities in this one.
I've been asked that. It's a similar question so many times throughout my career. Is like, is this one the biggest thing, or is this one the most important thing, or does this one put more pressure on? It's like, there's pressure on all of them, man. Like, every single fight is pressure. I really couldn't say which is more or less than the other. I feel just as much pressure for this fight as it has any other one.
Do you feel like you have to represent the PFL against Bellator at all, or does it just feel like another fight, like stepping into another organization's cage kind of deal?
I suppose a little bit, but it's a weird thing. It's not like I'm trying to the PFL trying to take out all the Bellator. Like, we're kind of one thing. Are we going to be one thing? I don't know. like I want to nuke this person as much as I do the next one. So